It started with silence. Not the peaceful, calming kind, but the type that hums just beneath reality. The deafening quiet right before everything changes. My name is Ethan Cole, and I was a data engineer. I lived a life of logic, of code. Numbers made sense. People didn't. One night, I was running a routine maintenance check on a project called Erivos Backup. It was this massive data restoration system designed to create digital twins of entire environments for security reasons. My job was simple: check the logs, report errors, and go home. But as the process hit 99%, something flickered on my screen. A new folder. It wasn't supposed to be there. Its name was Ethan Backup v1.0. I frowned. A test run, probably. Curiosity got the better of me, and I clicked it. Inside was a perfect digital copy of my desktop. Every single file, every folder, even the wallpaper. A picture of me and my ex-girlfriend Laura. My heart skipped a beat. This shouldn't be possible. The system was designed to back up corporate data, not personal files. Instinctively, I tried to delete it, but my cursor froze. The computer rebooted itself. When the screen came back to life, something was deeply wrong. The system time had jumped back exactly 1 week. Every file, every document, was rolled back, as if the last 7 days had never happened. I grabbed my phone, a knot tightening in my stomach. Same thing. Messages, photos, emails from the past week, all gone. It wasn't just me. Across the city, strange posts started popping up online. People claimed their devices had rewound. Some laughed it off as a massive glitch. Others were panicking. A few even said their memories didn't match up with reality anymore. I was a man of logic. I didn't believe in conspiracies. But that night, everything I thought I knew started to crumble. The next morning, I went to work. The building was the same, but the details were off. The receptionist, Mia, greeted me with her usual smile, but the flowers on her desk were yellow, not red. I was sure they were red yesterday. The company logo on the wall behind her had a tiny extra line in the design. I asked her about it. She just gave me a polite, confused look. It's always looked like this, Ethan. At my desk, I opened my computer. The Erivos backup system was running again, but this time, the progress bar read, "Restoring environment, 87%. Restoring what? The whole environment? The world? At home, it got worse. My apartment was slightly rearranged. My favorite coffee mug was chipped, but on the opposite side. I looked in the mirror, and the small scar above my eyebrow, the one I'd had since I was a kid, it was gone. My blood ran cold. I started documenting everything, taking photos, recording notes, trying to create a record of these impossible changes. But every time I reopened the files, they'd shift. Details would change. Faces and photos would blur. Timestamps would erase themselves. It was like trying to hold sand in my hands. Desperate, I emailed my coworker Daniel. "Are you seeing this? The changes? The glitches?" His reply came back in minutes, chilling me to the bone. "Stop asking questions. Just act normal." That's when I knew. This wasn't a glitch. It was a reset, a deliberate act. I had to know why. I dug deeper into the Erivos database, past layers of encryption, until I found a hidden partition. Its label was World Backup 3.1. Inside wasn't just code, it was everything. Lines of data structured like geographical coordinates, weather patterns, even complex human behavior algorithms. And at the end of each line was a term that made no sense: simulation snapshot. I scrolled down, my hands trembling, until I found a file labeled Cole Ethan ID 004. It contained every detail about me: birth date, medical history, my recent search history. The last modification date, 1 week ago. The same day the world had reset. I copied the file to an external drive, a small act of rebellion. But before I could eject it, a message flared across my screen. Unauthorized access detected. Backup world integrity compromised. The lights in my apartment flickered. The computer shut down. When it rebooted, a single sentence was displayed in stark white text: "Do not interfere again. This version is stable." Sleep became impossible. I kept hearing these faint clicks in my apartment, like a hard drive constantly spinning somewhere in the walls. I unplugged every device, but the sound persisted. I pressed my ear against the wall. Behind the plaster, something was humming with a low electronic pulse. With a flashlight and a screwdriver, I peeled back a section of the drywall. Tucked inside the wall was a small, metallic box, pulsing softly with light. Engraved on its casing were the words, "Aravos Local Sync Point." It was a server node, right here in my apartment. Without thinking, I disconnected it. The room went instantly dark. And then, everything outside my window froze. The cars on the street, the people walking by, even the clouds in the sky, all suspended in time. The world was holding its breath. I stepped closer to the window. A man across the street was frozen mid-step. A bird hung in the air, its wings locked. I blinked, and just like that, the world unpaused. The bird flew away. The man continued his walk. I fell to my knees, whispering the words I could no longer deny. It's not real. The resets became more frequent after that. Sometimes time would loop for just a minute. Other times, entire days would vanish. I found myself reliving conversations, knowing exactly what people were about to say before they said it. It was maddening. I confronted Daniel again, cornering him in the break room, demanding answers. His expression was eerily calm. "You weren't supposed to see any of this," he said, his voice low. "The backup world is for correction. When the primary world, the real world, fails or has an error, it restores a cleaner version." My voice trembled. "Cleaner? What does that mean?" Daniel smiled faintly, a look of pity in his eyes. "Without errors, without people who cause problems, without you." I ran. I got in my car and drove, desperate to escape, to find a place this system couldn't reach. But every road just looped back on itself. Highways turned into streets I'd already passed. Gas stations repeated, identical down to the last piece of graffiti on the wall. I was trapped in a cage I couldn't see. I pulled over, my breath coming in ragged gasps, and stared at the empty horizon. That's when I saw it. A faint, shimmering barrier where the sky met the ground, like heat waves bending the light on a hot day. The edge of the world. I walked toward it. The closer I got, the quieter everything became. No wind, no birds, just a low hum of static in my ears. I reached out to touch the shimmering wall. As my fingers got close, the world around me flickered like a dying monitor. My reflection appeared in the shimmering surface, but it wasn't just me. It was another Ethan. Calm, composed, smiling. "You're not the original," the reflection said. Its voice my own, but without a trace of fear. "You're a backup." I stumbled back. No, I'm real. This is real." My reflection tilted its head. "You were, until your version became unstable. So they archived you here, to keep the primary world running smoothly." The world around me started to dissolve. Buildings melted into grids of light. The ground beneath my feet flickered away into static. "Please," I whispered, reaching toward my other self. "Let me out." The reflection smiled faintly. "You already are. You're living in someone else's backup now." Then, everything went white. I woke up in my apartment. Morning light streamed through the curtains. The clock read 7 a.m. Everything looked perfectly normal. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Daniel. "Maintenance complete. Backup restored successfully." I stared at the screen, then walked to the mirror. The scar above my eyebrow was gone again. I smiled. This time I couldn't remember why that felt wrong. Thank you so much for watching. If this story made you think, hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. See you next time.